Live, sir.
All right. So one, do you have any questions or stuff that we want to go over? That would be the question.
I like to go over how the Edomites became the Romans, or how the Edomites became Japhet.
Edomites ain't never became Japheth. You understand?
Well, took over the right.
Comment or question?
Either, sir. So I was looking at that earlier today. That's why I got it.
Japheth is not Esau. You know, you talk about where I gotta explain to you the lie.
Oh, no, sir.
You believe the truth. What are you trying to say?
I was saying how they took over the culture of the Yafet.
How they took over the culture with the sword. That's how you take over a culture.
You take over a culture with the sword. You understand? That's the white man's MO. Why? Because he was blessed with the sword. Right?
Come on. Is there any scriptures?
Let's see if we can find the one in the Apocrypha.
Come on.
Okay.
You had one up there already, sir?
Yeah, I got one. Thanks. Let me see. Let me see if I can find that.
So what we're trying to find is proof of the Aboriginal people who lived in Greece, who Philip of Macedonia, the father of Alexander the Greek, you understand? When he ran into those lands and took those lands from those people.
That's what we're looking for. It's in the book of Maccabees. I don't remember if it's 1 or 2. We about to find out. Somebody know where that is?
I was looking at it today. I just got popped in. Is it when they is it when they wanted to make wives, when they wanted to take their daughters for wives, and they didn't want you, so they paid them money?
That's the whole explanation that General Hyman gave in reference to the Sabians.
Yes, sir.
The Sabians.
Yes, sir. I'm looking at it today.
Okay.
The whole thing about the birth of Rome and the onslaught of the Macedonians into the Grecian area, and how they basically came to those people, the Sabians in that land, and they basically forced themselves upon the daughters of the Sabians. You understand? And what they came up with was a treaty of sorts to give power and authority in the marriage contract. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So after they did their deed, they were like, okay, we will make amends by giving the women land and power in this marriage. If you don't come up against us in for our evil, we'll give the women that we've taken, we'll give them half. You understand? Say it again. Half. They'll give you half. You understand? So this is what you got coming into the Roman matrimony, Roman rites of marriage, or what have you, developed from that unholy union that they created by stealing those brothers, those Japhetic people's wives. Okay? Did you find the scripture?
But I want a slight comment. If I'm not mistaken, that's how the marriage, instead of being love, this General Muhammad was saying, became like a contract.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like half this, half that. So when you pass, she get whatever's left of your stuff is left.
Right. How the white man is in your business if you go down to the court, you understand, and get a contract that's putting them in the relationship. You understand? So when the relationship is dissolved, the state is getting money and the state is siding with her. You understand? Based on the fact that they know, you understand, that union doesn't mean anything before the Most High. You understand? It's witness before men. You understand? What you done is just brought yourself into some man pleasing and some man serving by going down and dealing with the white man in your marriage, when sex is marriage, according to the scriptures. You understand? Whether your simple ass went to her father or not, you understand? Once you did it, you understand, it's yours. I believe trying to find it.
Is it in the Maccabees?
It's in the Maccabees. Let's read First Maccabees 1:1 and just get an idea of who we dealing with. I should be able to find it shortly.
Come on. First Maccabees, chapter 1:1. And it happened after that, Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, and he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece.
Okay. So Alexander the Greek, you understand? The son of who?
The son of Philip, the Macedonian.
Son of Philip the Macedonian. Okay. What did he do? Keep reading.
Who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes.
So while he was over there out of Macedonia, he went into Chittim, which is like Italy or what have you. He came up against, what's that cat's name?
Darius.
Darius of the Medes, right?
Of the Persians and Medes.
Right. So the Persians and Medes, right? That whole 300 thing or what have you, it was during that time, during the Persian and Mede Empire. That was just before the Greek Empire or what have you. You understand? We had a stint under the Assyrians and the Babylonians. Then came Persian and Medes, and then came the Greeks, and then finally the Romans. You understand? During that time. Okay?
Come.
So, what else does it say? Keep going.
That he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece.
You understand? First over Greece, meaning he unified it and took it. You understand? And the first devil to do it. Okay? Keep going.
And made many wars, and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth.
He slew the kings of the earth. You understand? He had broke off the yoke from his brothers. Remember it said that after he didn't get the blessing, but after a while he was going to break the yoke of his brother. You understand? Meaning that he was going to be able to use that sword he got to wield it without mercy. You understand? Because 70 times 7 is what you're going to get if you come up against the devil. You understand? And the Lord ain't ordained it or offer it. Okay? Okay. So that's what he was doing. Where is this thing at? Source 6 about this. Here it is. First Maccabees, chapter 8, verse 1. Let's go there.
First Maccabees 8. Come. First Maccabees, chapter 8 and verse 1.
Let's read on there.
Now Judas had heard of the fame of the Romans, that they were mighty and valiant men.
Okay, so here's our downfall. You understand? We just looking for somebody who whipping ass as much as we whooping ass. You understand? Keep going.
And such as would lovingly accept all that joined themselves unto them.
Say it again. There it is.
There it is. And such as would lovingly accept all that joined themselves unto
You
them.
understand? So Esau had a reputation of that whoever came to them for help or what have you, they would lovingly accept that author, put you on. You understand? But you didn't know the ramifications of getting down with the devil. It says, make no covenant with them. You understand? Never trust thy enemy. You understand? This was, okay, you got some devils over there. You understand? The Greeks had, run amok and tried to do you dirty or what have you. But this was just another family. You understand? Another family that you should have known better. You should have known that they was going to do the same thing as the other Edomite family. The what are them devils called?
The Greeks.
No, the Greeks, that was like a family. But I'm talking about that other prominent family of the Dukes of Edom. You got the Romans, you got the Greeks. You understand? Who's that other prominent family? Amalek. You understand? You can't never forget about them. They the dirtiest of them all. You understand? Keep going.
And make a league of enmity with all that came unto them. Verse 2, and that they were men of great valor. It was told him also of their wars and noble acts, which they had done among the Galileans.
Okay, so, they had been known warriors and they had done some act that they supposedly needed to be recognized for. If the brother was over contemplating in error, he should have just kept on killing. You understand? The Maccabees was known for killing. You understand? Getting the temple back and, you understand, whooping ass. Okay, he should have not been, seduced. You understand, by the devil. So I got a note in Josephus, right?
Come.
Says how after the death of Antiochus, Hyrcanus made an expedition against Syria and made a league with the Romans concerning the death of Demetrius and Alexander. You understand? So this is like all of those things combined into one. He giving a little history on what happened from Josephus' point of view, his perspective. It says in verse 1, but when Hyrcanus heard of the death of Antiochus, he presently made an expedition against the cities of Syria, hoping to find them destitute of fighting men, and of such as were able to defend them. However, it was not till the 6th month that he took Madaba, and that not without the greatest distress of his army. After this, he took Samega and the neighboring places, and besides these, Shechem, and Gerizim, and the nation of the Kuthians, who dwelt at the temple, which resembled that temple which was at Jerusalem, and which Alexander permitted Sanballat, the general of his army, to build for the sake of Manasseh, who was son-in-law to Jedua, the high priest, as we have formerly related, which temple was now deserted 200 years after it was built. Hyrcanus took also Dora and Marissa, cities of Idumea, and subdued all the Idumeans, and permitted them to stay in that country if they would circumcise their genitals and make use of the laws of the Jews. And they were so desirous of living in the country of their forefathers that they submitted to the use of circumcision. What you're seeing is the birth of the, you understand, Amalekite trying to follow the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. You understand?
It's a lot.
Submitted to the use of circumcision and of the rest of the Jewish ways of living. At which time, therefore, this befell them that they were hereafter no other than Jews. You understand? It says that in another place. You understand? Go ahead.
It's a lot here. Is that the beginning of the house of Agrippa?
No, that is not the story of Agrippa. This was just one particular sect of Idumeans that had gotten conquered, you understand, in order to not be slaughtered, like Saul was supposed to do, kill every last remaining of them, you understand? He let them live. And so he told them just to circumcise their children or what have you, and then they started trying to follow all the laws, statutes, commandments in the scriptures or what have you. So these is devils, you understand, and took on the nature and the laws of the Most High. You understand? You see the problem?
Come.
We can get the Herod and all that garbage as well. Let me see. Keep reading. First Maccabees 8, and where did you stop at?
Half of 1, sir. Well, I finished 1. We on 2, sir. Verse 2. And that they were men of great valor. It was told him also of their wars and noble acts which they had done among the Galatians, and how they had conquered them and brought them under tribute. Verse.
So the Romans would go to war against people, subdue them, and then make them pay. Keep going.
Verse 3. And what they had done in the country of Spain for the winning of the mines of the silver and gold which is there, and that they were policy and patient, they had conquered all the place. Though it were very far from them, and the kings also that came against them from the uttermost part of the earth, till they had discomfited them and given them a great overthrow, so that the rest did give them tribute every year.
There it is right there. Keep going.
Come. First Maccabees 8 and verse 5. Beside this, how they had discomfited in battle Philip and Perseus, king of the Chittims, with others that lifted up themselves against them and had overcome them.
You understand? When you look and see what Chittim means Italy. Or what have you. You had Spain, so all of that region that's in the Mediterranean Sea. You understand? Spain, Italy, which is Rome. What's the name of that little island out there? Cyprus. What's the other?
That was
the other the little Greek island out there. It's like a little Greek island. But
Begin
that
with a
whole
C.
area, or what have you, is how the Romans had conquered that whole area right there and took over the land that belonged to those Sabians. You understand? Those people, the same people we talking about, or what have you. They took them over, took over that whole region, dominated that whole region.
Sicilians?
Not Sicilians. It's a little island that's right off the side of Italy. Where's the globe right there? Pull down the globe right quick. No, it's the Grecian island. Let me see that. Here it is, right here. Crete, and then Cyprus, all those. You got Italy, you got Spain, you got the bottom of France. All of those are bordering the Mediterranean Sea. What else do you got there? You got Galatia, you understand, all those schools, Turkey, Cyprus, you understand, all these little Athens, all this area right in here is where the Romans, you understand, which are from the house of Edom, you understand, took over and conquered all of those areas, you understand, along with the Sabians and the Chittims. When you look on, you do a word search on Chittim or what have you, and you see that means it's Italy. So Cyprus, Spain, France, Italy, all of that is what the Romans conquered. You understand? Coming out of Turkey, which was Macedonia. That's where Macedonia was right there. You understand? Bordering on another place where the so-called white man decided to go. What does that say right there? No. It's words that should look familiar. You see it? No. I was pointing at right here. The Caucasus is what? The Caucasus. The Caucasus Mountains. The Caucasus Mountains. You understand? That's where Esau, Mount Seir, where the so-called white man came from, is down here. Where Israel is right in this area right here. Bordering in here where Edom was. You understand? Right down here, just before the Red Sea. You understand? Coming out of Israel, going toward Egypt. You understand? You ran right into Edom, right down here. That's where Mount Seir is. And then the Caucasus Mountains is right above that, or what have you. So all they started at Mount Seir, but they went up and dwelled in those mountains and in the Caucasus Mountains as well. You understand? So you understand? They don't never get the true beginnings of it. You understand? Unless they go into the Bible and recognize that he's from Mount Seir. You understand? That's where Edom was. It was in the southern portion of Judah. You understand? But then he went and dwelt many times in those Caucasus Mountains or what have you, and established his base and being known from that. You understand? From that, taking over Macedonia. You understand? Going over as the Romans and taking Italy, Chittim, Spain, the lower regions of France. You understand? All in the Mediterranean Sea. You understand? Okay, no sweat. So where we stopped at First Maccabees 8, and so that was it. 8, and we went off to 5. And we in verse 6 it says, how also Antiochus, the great king of Asia, that came against them in battle, having 120 elephants with horsemen and chariots, and a very great army, was discomfited by them. The Romans wasn't no joke. You understand? Meaning that the Romans and their section was one of the 4 general sections that Alexander put in charge of the land when he died. You understand? Antiochus was the cat that was down there wreaking havoc and hell over the Israelites and not their section. You understand why the other general up there started taking over the Mediterranean area and taking it from the Japhetic people. Okay? That's how that was going down. Okay? Let's get some more. Let's stay on Esau. Let's get some more Edomite stuff. Let's look in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary and go into Herod. Let's see who this cat Herod was, what have you. The brother had asked about Herod, who he was. The Herodian dynasty. Let's see if we can go. Okay, they start giving the latest and greatest one, the one that's famous. But it was a whole line of Herodians, and then the one that had married into the Judites, or what have you, married into that Judite sister, or what have you, that made it even worse, you understand? And then we got the Herod that killed John the Baptist, okay? Got him. Go ahead.
That was in the jail, sir?
Say again?
When he cut his head off?
Yes. 1 second, this thing keeps falling off. Let's see if there's any other ones. Okay. Let's just go with the former. The cat that everybody knows about. It says Herod, when Pompey organized the East in 63 BC, he appointed Hyrcanus, the second of that name, to be the high priest ruler of an ethnarchy comprising Galilee, Samaria, Judea, and Perea. Okay, so Pompey was one of the Greek rulers, right? And he organized the East, talking about Israel, in 63 BC. He appointed this second cat that had been named Hyrcanus, right? We had just talked about Hyrcanus in the scripture we read, right? In first Maccabees 8th chapter, we read about a Hyrcanus. This is what the second Hyrcanus, second of that name, to be the highly, you can just put it up there, to be the high priestly ruler of an ethnarchy composing of Galilee, Samaria, Judea, and Perea. So instead of having the king of Israel, you understand, ruling the land, or even the brothers that's in the temple, you understand, the priests in the temple running the land, these Greeks installed people that they chose, that they wanted to be in charge of Israel, that they can control, puppets, you understand? Puppeteers, you understand? Somebody that they could control, the taskmasters, just like the Egyptians had in Egypt, you understand? They had taskmasters, those was Israelites that had been put in charge of Israel, you understand? And they were made to serve the Egyptians by destroying us, lying to us, beating us, you understand? That's what their job was. The taskmasters in Exodus, the 2nd chapter. Okay. Let's see. One Antipater, an Idumean, was Hyrcanus' senior officer of Visor. So once again, you had an Idumean, you understand, who was mixed into the whole thing. This Idumean was a Edomite as well, even though we're talking about Pompey, and Pompey was a Edomite, but he wasn't classifying himself as a he wasn't classifying himself as a Roman or a Greek. He was still calling himself an Idumean. So he was in Hyrcanus. He was one of his senior officers. Pompey's arrangements were modified by Gabinius in 57 BC by the reduction of Hyrcanus' authority and the division of the ethnarchy into autonomous communities. Notable services rendered at Alexandria to Julius Caesar in 48 BC led to the restoration of Hyrcanus' authority and the appointment, right? That whole thing about what Julius Caesar had done coming up against Caesar, you understand? No, Julius Caesar and his killing. Remember how they came up against him or what have you? How he went down there and they were having them affairs with the Egyptian Cleopatras. You understand? The Cleopatras that had installed themselves, the Greeks that had installed themselves in Egypt. You understand? And how Julius Caesar and I forget what that other cat's name was that went down there, how they went down there and ended up dying and losing part of their kingdom or what have you. And so it had a little small effect on who was in charge when Pompey put people back in charge after those things happened with Julius Caesar and the other cat and those Cleopatras down there. You understand? Because you got to remember, that was one of the places that Antiochus had came up against. Those were the Ptolemies. The Ptolemies was in Egypt. Antiochus was over like Syria and Israel area or what have you. But the Ptolemies, they was in Egypt. You understand? So Pompey, he put a few people over top of our land, told them what to do. So he said, and the authority and appointment of Antipater to the curatorship of Judea. Antipater had in fact been the leading spirit in the policy which won Caesar's favor, and Antipater used his advantage with an astuteness which foreshadowed the career of his son. Antipater persuaded the now aged Hyrcanus to appoint Phasael, Antipater's eldest son, to the prefecture of Jerusalem, and Herod, his second son, to the governorship of Galilee. You understand? So this cat right here talked to Hyrcanus, who was the high priest that had been installed illegally. You understand? He was an illegal stall by this Greek Pompey. You understand? Because, of course, we got discomfited joining with the Romans or what have you. You understand? They ended up occupying us. You understand? You thought they was your friend, and then they came down and took over the rest of the Greek territory and made it Roman territory, and you fell up under their dominion. Okay? So Antipater persuaded the now aged Hyrcanus to appoint Phasael, Antipater's eldest son, to the prefecture of Jerusalem, and Herod, his second son, to the governorship of Galilee. Okay? That's how the Herod came in to play. His father got him installed to be a governor over Galilee. When Antipater was murdered in 43 BC, his two sons succeeded to his position in Hyrcanus' court. It was the year after Julius Caesar's assassination and jubilant that Caesar's plan for a decisive campaign on the vulnerable eastern frontier of Rome was shoveled the Parthians, the perennial military problem of the Northeast, like the Iranians, Iraqians, and stuff like that. The perennial military problem of the Northeast were restive. In 40 BC, they penetrated Palestine, carried off Irenicus, and drove Phasael, also a captive, to a death of suicide. Herod eluded both militarily and Herod eluded both military action and Parthian treachery. You understand? Meaning those Iranians, Iraqians that came down into that land and ran over Jerusalem and killed. He killed Phasael and drove him to suicide. And who else did he? And they carried off Irenicus. They carried him off. You understand? They got down in there and carried him off. But Herod, he won. He withdrew from Jerusalem, shook off pursuit by clever rear guard, skirmishing near Bethlehem, and escaped to Egypt. Now, he didn't win, Slakia. Herod escaped to Egypt, you understand, when those Parthians came down and got the best of Israel and whoever the Romans had put in charge of that area. Herod fled to Egypt. Let's get more. Outwitting Cleopatra and reaching Rome through the perils of a winter voyage, you understand? Meaning that you got to remember those four generals. The Ptolemies was down in Egypt. You understand? Everybody that was under Antiochus after he died, it kind of broke up, and they had Pompey put the Irenicus. He installed that fake high priest into the office down there in Israel. You understand? Divided the land up into like 5 little sections. Had like little governors ruling over the land. But the Parthians, the Iraqians, and Iranians came down and swamped into Israel and drove out, you understand, and killed one of the sons, you understand, of Antipater. And Herod escaped into Egypt, got past Cleopatra, which was her regular enemy, because they was down there, the Ptolemies was down there in that area, what have you. When he ran down there, if they would have caught him, they would have put him to death or locked him up, you understand? But he escaped back to Rome, you understand? Mm-hmm. He left Israel, came down into Egypt, and then went up across the water and escaped into Rome, you understand? Because he could get safety there, because they were the ones that appointed his father and then had his father appoint him. So he was going to now go tell the Romans, listen, give me some military back, you understand? So we can go back up there and deal with these Parthians. Okay? Let's see, where did I leave off? Okay. Reaching Rome through the perils of winter voyage, and Herod set his case before Octavian and Anthony, right? It is a remarkable tribute to his charm, daring political acumen, port of both triumvirs, who were so soon to divide in disastrous rivalry. The whole remarkable story is told drillingly in the first book of Josephus' Wars of the Jews. So I got Josephus' Wars of the Jews right here. You can find out how Herod escaped, you understand, the attack, got down in Egypt and was able to sneak away and get back to Rome. And he went to Mark Antony and Octavian, or what have you, who was the one that had put Julius Caesar to death. You remember?
Come on. That was the second triumph.
I believe so.
Okay.
He Julius Caesar, he was good. Augustus was better than him, you understand? But then they didn't like the way he came across the Rhine with those colors on. Remember?
That was
he didn't change over his colors when he came across the Rhine after a victory.
That's Julius Caesar.
Yes, you understand? And then they took him up in the Senate and stabbed him up on the floor. You understand? But Mark Antony was the one that had been down there dealing with them Cleopatras or what have you. Them Greeks that had been installed over top of the Egyptians even. You understand? even though Egypt had already been long, you understand, no more superpower. You understand? Because the Assyrians had went down there and had taken over. The Babylonians took over. Persians and Medes kicked ass down there. The Greeks then went over and took over Egypt or what have you. They just kept catching L's or what have you. And we was hanging on by the skin of our teeth. You understand? So we're going to find out what Herod did. Herod set his case before Octavian Anthony, okay? The 13 years which lay between the assassination of Caesar and the emergence of Octavian as the victorious Augustus after Anthony's defeat at Actium in 31 BC were a time of paralysis and uncertainty throughout the Roman world. Herod saw in such confusion and the opportunity for the divisive action. Landing at Acre in 39 BC with only the promise of Roman favor, Herod went to claim his kingdom and to unseat the Parthian puppet. Antigonus, Palestine, with its hill country, deserts, and fenced cities, called for a variety of military ability. Herod showed himself the able master of varied types of war. The 2 years of tireless activity, which made him, by the age of 36, the master of his inheritance, revealed all the facets of Herod's amazing personality. They giving him big ups in this Bible dictionary. He was just the devil. He was ruthless. He was a ruthless fighter, but at the same time, a cunning negotiator, a subtle diplomat. You understand? There he is. You understand? The most subtle beast of the field.
Kind of a con.
And an opportunist. He was able to restrain his Roman helpers and simultaneously circumvent the Jews. Between 39 and 37 BC, Herod revealed those qualities, if qualities they may be called. You understand? And this cat was like Game of Thrones time 3. You understand? He was about it. Okay? If qualities they may be called, which enabled him for 34 years to govern subjects who hated him within the major framework of Roman imperial rule, to steer, as the task demanded, a safe course through political dilemma, and to pursue a dual policy without ruinous contradiction, meaning that his father had put him in power because, you understand, he wanted his son to have a legacy. You understand? That was part of his legacy, to give him our land, you understand, so he could rule over us. But of course, he had to deal with them people back in Rome. You understand? You understand, if you know anything about the Romans, you understand that they ain't like the job that you was doing. They send somebody down there and remove your ass, put you in a dungeon and shit, and you was done. You understand? You had to keep them happy in order to stay in power. You understand? Meanwhile, Herod was extracting all of our wealth, taxing us unjustly, not even telling the Romans how bad he was doing us. He was doing us dirty. Not only that, he was taking our women too. He ended up marrying a Jewess. He married a sister. You understand? Which made it his other Herodians that came after him kind of start favoring us or what have you. You understand? Which was the flip. You understand? It's the beginning of the flip, just like the one I read to you out of Josephus saying how the Idumeans took on the culture, you understand, of the land of Jews, you understand? In order to not get killed. It's also in the book of Esther. Let's get that.
The book of Esther, sir?
Yeah, it's the last chapter in the book of Esther, you understand, to show you, you understand, how they do. You understand? It's a precept. Revelations 2 and 9 and 3 and 9. You feel me? How you know? What does that mean? What are they saying?
I know because you said so, sir.
No, what does Revelations 2 and 9 and 3 and 9 say? And that'll help you
I
answer the question.
believe that's the one
Bedrock.
about you're not the Jew.
You're not the Jew. It said that somebody is claiming they're
Claiming to be
Jews,
the
but
Jew
they are
that is
not
not.
the Jews.
Come
You
on.
understand? I'm showing it to you in the Bible and in history where they did it. You understand?
Come.
Let me show you Job 42.
You said Job or Joel, sir?
Job, I believe. No, it's Esther. Sorry. Last book of Esther. Find that? You got the last book of Esther.
Esther.
Say again? No, not the one in the Apocrypha, in the scriptures. Let's get this. And then see if there's any more about the bad man, Herod.
Shalakia. The last book is 10, sir.
Now skim down the book and find the scripture where I'm talking about.
Come.
Should say Jews. Go to 9 then.
Is there anything specific I'm looking for, sir?
Yeah, where people, they became Jews. How did they become Jews? Yeah, you got it?
9 and 31.
Read it.
Purim. Esther 9 and 31. To confirm these days of Purim and their times appointed. According as Mordecai the Jew and Esther the queen had enjoined them, and as they had decreed for themselves and for their seed the matters of the fasting and their cry.
No. That ain't quite it. That's not quite it. Fine.
That day didn't. Shalakia, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'm here.
I can't find this joker. I'm gonna find this joker.
Could it be 9 and 27, sir? Not the right one, sir. It's like that.
Kind of, sort of, but it is more prominent. Esther 8 and 17, I was in the wrong chapter. Read that.
Oh, no, that's straightforward, yes, sir. Esther 8 and 17, and in every province and in every city, whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, the Jews had joy and gladness.
Okay, so you know, the Esther was able to get the king, you understand, that had taken her to wife, to change his mind once she exposed Haman, who was a Macedonian. Haman the Macedonian, you understand? Haman the Macedonian. Why is that important? Do you know why that's important?
I'm thinking because it's showing that they're still the same people.
Who's the same people?
The Macedonians, the Greeks, the Romans,
There you go, but who are they?
Amalekites.
Can you prove it there?
I just remember what I heard you say.
You got to prove it. Go to Esther and the Apocrypha. Go to Esther and the Apocrypha and see what we can dig up.
I got the book. So,
Read Esther chapter 16, verse 10.
in the Apocrypha, Esther 16 and 10. For Aman,
For Haman, same cat,
a Macedonian, the son of Amadatha, being indeed a stranger from the Persian blood, and far distant from our goodness, and as a stranger received of us.
you understand? Even though the Persian and Medes was in a rulership and authority, this Amalekite, you understand? Why am I calling them Amalekite? Can you prove that? You can't prove it? Haman was a Macedonian. It just said, right? Go back to Esther 8 and 17. That's important.
Job 8 and 17.
Esther.
Esther 8 and 17. And in every province and in every city, whitherso the king's commandment and his decree came, the Jews had joy and kindness, a feast and a good day. And many of the people of the land became Jews, for the fear of the Jews fell upon them.
Okay, you see the thing? Many of the people of the land became Jews because of the fear that came upon them, meaning that they started doing the law, statutes, commandments. You understand? That's all it meant. Just like in Josephus how they became Jews. After we put a can of ass on their ass, that they decided that, okay, we'll circumcise and we'll do everything that's supposed to be done according to the Lord. Who else did it? The Samaritans, when they sent the good Samaritan back. You understand? When they sent one of the priests back, you understand? From Assyria, one of the Gadites probably sent them back into the land, you understand? Because they was getting eaten by lions. You understand? They was getting eaten by lions. They couldn't stay in the line, stay in the land because the Lord wasn't pleased with them. He sent that back to Good Samaritan, you understand, and was able to, you understand, suffice. You understand? They was able to stay there. And then all of a sudden, they acted like that they was the people of the land. You understand? What did the woman say at the well? You understand?
Come.
My fathers, me and my fathers, they
Come.
had the land and they said this, that, and the other. You understand? When she was not a Samaritan, a good Samaritan, she was go not into the way of the Samaritans. That's who the hell she was.
Come.
She was not the one you talking about. So I'm just showing you that thing. You understand how they would do that. You understand? They're gonna do it again. You understand? But you're gonna have to be a card carrying Israelite. You understand? You ain't gonna be able to slide stealing our identity. Thieving. Okay? Let me give you another one. Go to Esther, and let's find in Esther who this Haman was. Esther 3 and 10. We read in Esther 16th chapter verse 10 that Haman was a Macedonian. You see? You understand? Haman was a Macedonian. You understand? Why is that significant, Kawan?
Haman was a Macedonian.
Yeah. What was your first initial question?
About how the Edomites became Japhet or Macedonians and Grecians and Romans.
I'm showing it all to you right
here.
This is showing you, you understand, how they got from Mount Seir, you understand? We're gonna show you. We're gonna show you again. We're gonna go back to Saul and how he was supposed to kill who?
He was supposed to kill all of the Amalekites.
I know, but what was the king's name in particular?
The king's name?
Let's read Esther 3 and 10. It'll give you a clue.
Esther 3 and verse 10. And the king took his ring from his hand and gave it unto Haman, the son of Hammedatha, an Agagite, the Jews' enemy.
Whose enemy?
The Jews' enemy.
He was an Agagite.
And
how did they become the Jews' enemy?
I'm not sure, sir.
1 Samuel 15 and 8. Let's go there. Read it.
1 Samuel 15 and 8. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive.
What?
And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Keep reading.
And utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword.
But he left Agag alive. He was supposed to kill Agag too, right?
And utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. 1 Samuel 15:9. But Saul and the people spared Agag and the best of the sheep and of the oxen and of the fatlings and the lambs and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them. But everything that was vile and refuse, that they destroyed utterly. 15 and 10.
No, that's it.
Go.
Let me see. Where was we at?
This is 1 Samuel 15 and 9 and 10.
Okay. So I want to show you, I don't know if I can find it. I'm going to go flip through manually. 1 Samuel 15, you understand?
Sorry, so that was 15 and 8 and 9. I said 9 and 10.
Say again.
That was 15 and 8 and 9, so 1 Samuel.
Give me, sorry. Give me 1 Samuel 15 and 2.
1 Samuel 15 and 2. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. 15 and 3, 1 Samuel. Now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they had.
You understand? So Amalek, you understand, is who?
That's the people over there in Judah or Israel right now claiming to be the Jews of the Bible, Jewish.
It says in 1 Samuel 15 and 8, he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive. Haman was a Amalekite. You see the problem? I even got the scripture, I believe, where it says that of how we know what Samuel did to Agag. You understand? But we also know how, because he didn't do what he was supposed to do. I think that might be history. How in Josephus, how you understand Amalek's children, or some of the people that they didn't kill everybody. You understand? They fled. You understand? They fled, and that's how come they still in the land today. You understand? He was supposed to kill everybody because the Lord remembered the evil that they did to us when we were leaving out of Egypt.
Question. So was the Amalekites left now descendants of Agag, like his offspring?
That's what I'm saying.
Right. Okay.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Like his direct offspring, so
Right.
from his seed. Okay. So
Give me 1 second. Give me some fools will try to tell you that Amalek was dead after Samuel killed everybody. It wasn't no more Amalekites. It's a goddamn lie. 1 Samuel 30 and 17. David wasn't even on the scene yet. Read.
1 Samuel 30 and verse 17. And David smote them from the twilight. And David smote them from the twilight even unto the evening of the next day. And there escaped not a man of them, save 400 young men, which rude
Rode.
unto camels,
Rode.
which rode unto camels and fled.
Upon. Did you say upon?
Which rode upon camels and fled.
Okay, let's find out who they are. Does it say up above it?
Right below us.
Right below it? Read on.
And David recovered all that the Amalekites had carried away.
You understand? So if Saul had killed everybody except for Agag, and then Samuel killed Agag, and then there were no more Amalekites left. That makes no goddamn sense. Because David now is fighting the Amalekites, and 400 of them, he killed everybody but 400 of them, and they fled. You understand? So there's plenty of Amalekites around. You understand? And Exodus 17 and 6 says what?
You said
17 and 16.
You said Exodus?
Exodus 17 and 16.
Exodus 17 and verse 16. For he said, because the Lord have sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation.
You understand? Go to Numbers 24 and 17. He's going to have war from generation to generation with Amalek. You understand? That's because Amalek is all over the place. Amalek is still on the earth. You understand?
Exodus 24 and 17.
Read.
And the sight of the glory of the Lord was
Hold
like...
Hold on. Numbers 24 and 17.
You said numbers, sir?
Numbers.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Numbers 24 and 17. I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not now. There shall come a star out of Jacob.
You understand? How the hell is a star going to come out of a man? You understand? Y'all a bunch of dummies talk about the star of Molech. You understand? Is a goddamn a star.
Come on, come.
You understand?
Come,
A
sir.
star's going to come out of Jacob. A mighty man, a warrior. You understand?
Come.
A superstar. God damn. Go ahead.
And the scepter shall rise out of Israel.
You understand? And the rulership shall rise out of Israel. Read on.
And shall smite the corners of Moab.
We're going to smite the Chinese. Keep going.
And destroy all the children of Shem.
We're going to destroy all the children of Seth. I forget who Seth is. I can look it up. I believe it's Hamites. Keep going.
Numbers 24 and 18. And Edom shall be a possession.
And Edom shall be a possession. The white man, pursuant to Isaiah 14, 1 and 2, is going into captivity. You understand? Whose possessors they were. You understand? Go ahead.
Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies.
Mount Seir is going to be a possession for their enemies. You understand? The white man's home, Mount Seir in Edom. Keep going.
And Israel shall do valiantly.
And Israel shall do valiantly in that day, the day of the Lord. Keep going.
So Numbers 24 and 19. Out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion.
Oh my goodness. This is a prophecy in the Old Testament. You understand? Just like in Deuteronomy, the 18th chapter. You understand? Who was it talking about in Deuteronomy 18? It's gonna be one that comes.
Oh, yeah, I was shocked.
Yeah, I know, but who was talking in Deuteronomy 18? Out of Jacob shall he that shall have dominion. Out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion. Deuteronomy 18.
Was it the Levites, sir?
No. I'm talking about what the Most High told Moses. You understand? After Moses is gone, what you gonna do? (18 and 18).
Deuteronomy 18 and verse 18. I will raise them up a prophet from amongst their brethren, like unto thee, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him.
Keep going.
And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto the words which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him.
So who's this prophecy about?
Christ, sir.
Yahweh,
Sir.
same as out of Jacob, you understand, shall come he that shall have dominion,
Come.
and shall destroy him that remaineth of the city. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, in Numbers 24 and 20, Amalek was the first of nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever. You understand? So that gets rid of Esau right there. Let me see if I got any more goodies for Esau, the way he operates.
Yeah.
How he stole that land over there. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
The great gatherers, sir. Great gatherers.
That's good, but we got another one that speaks more to it in the Psalms. Let's see if I can find that. How he do. How he took Japheth's land. How he took our land and our land. What did he do? How did he do?
You say in Psalm, sir?
Yeah. Let's see if I can find that. Psalms 49 and 11. Let's get that.
Psalms 49 and verse 11. Their inward thought is
Their inward thought is, this is how the white man thinks. Keep going.
that their houses shall continue forever,
That their houses shall continue forever. That's how he operates in the earth. Keep going.
and their dwelling places
And their dwelling places, the places that they done stole, you understand? Come on.
to all generations.
To all generations. They gonna think they're gonna keep them forever. Keep going.
They call their names,
They call their names. You understand?
Salakia. They call their
They
lands
call their lands
after their own names.
after their own name. They call their lands, the lands that they stole, after their own name. You understand? The lands that they stole, they gonna call it after their names, as if the shit belonged to them. You understand? They gonna kick you out, put you in the basement of your house, and then say they gonna go out and change the name of the goddamn on the post office box, or the Johnsons, the little sign that you got on your front. They gonna change it and take it and put the Smiths. The Smiths. You understand? That's how the white man operates.
Come.
You understand? Call this America. Know damn well this ain't got nothing to do with some Americo Vespucci.
Right.
Ain't got nothing to do with him.
Come.
You understand? Question or comment?
Comment, sir. Leo Scipio, what's the name? Leo Scipio Africanus.
Right.
Right.
You understand? Knowing that the earth was given into the hand of the wicked, the white man down there in Africa taking any damn thing he wanted. You understand? Right now. Let's get some more dirt on Esau. Esau. I wish I could find that little section. I think it's in the wars. The wars. How we read in First Maccabees, 8th chapter. Is more on Chittim. I'll find my book. Let me see if I can look it up right quick.
Salakia, Chittim is Greece.
Is it on the test? What's on the
Nah,
test?
that's not on the check test.
Chittim is on the test.
Let me look up the test, sir. Salakia.
Look on the test right quick. Let's see if I can find a book. Josephus.
I believe
Online.
Chittim is Greece.
Where's my book at? Google Books. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to pull up an online edition of Josephus. Any questions or comments online, Dr. Shaw?
Live, sir.
Is anybody in here?
It's a couple people, sir. Barack one, it's about 3-4 people. We gotta get our
Can
channel.
I get some questions or comments online, please? Books in. See if I can find books. Online Josephus. I'm gonna find that section for you. Just give you everything.
I got the test, sir. I don't see anything about Chittim.
You looking for what? So I can
Say again.
You looking for what it was, sir?
I'm looking for it in Josephus. We was in First Maccabees, the 8th chapter.
Yeah, I had that.
I'm talking about in Josephus. You got Josephus?
Nah, I'm looking at the dictionary definition.
Is it Greece?
Saying Javon, and saying, when I went to Javon, it said, Greek and Ionian. Said the Greeks and Ionians
Very good.
came to be the name of the Greeks to the Hebrews.
What about Chittim? Let's look in this Bible dictionary.
Chittim says, descendants, this is a Zondervan's compact dictionary.
I'm gonna see what the big one said. Keep going.
Descendants of Javon, Cyprus and his
Javon. You understand? That's one of Jacob's sons. Keep going.
Cyprus and its inhabitants, and eventually
Cyprus, one of the islands down there in the Mediterranean. Keep going.
and its inhabitants, and eventually also the islands and coasts of the Mediterranean. And then when I went to Javon, it said a region settled by one of the sons, like you said, sons of Japheth. Javon was the name of this country to Ezekiel, who saw it as an important trade center. So Javon, in parentheses Greek and Ionian, came to be the name of Greece to the Hebrews. During the period 700 to 630 BC, the Ionians or Greeks carried an extensive trade in the Near East. Hence, all people of Greece were called Javon.
Okay.
That was it, sir.
No sweat. Right? Obviously, they are not the Greeks or the Romans. That's the point. You understand? Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to find this. The War of the Jews. Say track book 1, War of the Jews. Let me see if I can find that. Chapter 20, chapter 19, chapter 18. How the War of the Jews with the Romans began. See how that, after we thought that they were their buddies, what have you. $15. Find this. The word Sabian in there? Let me
The word what, sir? What did you say?
see. Sabian.
It's in, so I can say it's in the dictionary.
Sabian?
Sabian is in,
It's in this dictionary, yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Savings, mentioned in Genesis chapter 10, verse 7, and 1 Chronicles 1 and 9 as a son of Cush. In Isaiah 43 and 3,
I don't think that's the right one. I'm gonna drop that.
Shalaki.
Let's see if we can find this. Book 1, War of the Jews. Uh-oh. Let's see. fine with that. I got the part where Irenicus was heir to the kingdom. You understand? When they put him in charge. I got that part. But I'm looking for the part where the Romans discomfited everybody all the way from Spain, all the way around the Mediterranean. When it starts talking about the Romans. Let me see if I can find that in here. Find it. Okay. Did anybody typing anything online?
Ah, sure.
Can't seem to find it right now. How the Romans basically took out the people in Chile, but it's in First Maccabees, the 8th chapter. That's where we were at, discussing all of the exploits that the Romans did to take over the land of Javan. I thought that I had seen it as well. In the book of Josephus. We made it all the way down to verse 8 or 9.
8, or I was in 9, I believe. But I know, so I can say,
Okay.
I remember reading, or I saw it on a site, but I know with these elephants they had 120 of them, and they had like 30 or 40 people on each elephant.
Right.
Then, so they had a big army. Then they had a bunch, like 100 and something horsemen in each elephant. they had a huge army for one, just,
Right.
to start with. Those elephants are huge, and they battled hardened, if I'm saying it correctly. I'm in 8 and first Matthews 8 and 6, talking about the elephants and
Right.
they didn't really mention it here, but I read it somewhere that they had 100-something horsemen, men of war with each elephant. Some elephants got 20 people on the top of them. They throwing down.
They fought their last little battle against the Greeks or what have you, and put them out of power. Yeah, they were fighting the Greeks at that time after they discomfited all of the people from Spain and the kingdom of Chile as well. So I'll try to find that again. But if you read all of First Maccabees, the 8th chapter on down, you understand, you'll see how that all transpired and how we fell up under, we traded slave masters. We went from the Greeks right into the Romans. What have you. So that was a good little history lesson right there. So you know everything about Esau now. Who know about Esau? Tell me something about Esau that I don't know.
That would be impossible, sir.
Who said? Feel like I got something else. Esau. Okay. I got this book called the Sarcophagus of an Ancient Civilization, right?
Okay.
I went to the library dealing with this. It says they eventually took Petra and reduced the whole territory formerly known as Edom to the status of a Roman province. You know what Petra is? See, this is in the Bible dictionary. Petra was in the land of Edom, where the Edomites come from. Go ahead.
Petra, Petra,
Yes.
is rock or cliff.
Rock or cliff, it means rock or cliff or what have you. So when you look at this land or what have you, in the city of Petra, in the land of Edom, you see that it's like a goddamn a rock city. It's like sheer rocks and caves. It's a cave. It's a cave city or what have you. So it's saying they eventually took Petra and reduced the whole territory, formerly known as Edom, to the status of a Roman province. In 47 BC, Julius Caesar appointed Antipater, who was a clever but crafty Idumean, as procurator of Judea, Samaria, and Galilee. We read that earlier. In 37 BC, the Roman Senate appointed Herod as king of the Jews. Later, he came to be known as Herod the Great. Herod, in turn, established his own brother-in-law, the Idumean Costobarus, a priest of Kos, a ruler of Idumea and Gaza. This was the beginning of the Herodian dynasty.
Henceforth, the Idumeans were reckoned as Jews.
Well, where's that, sir? Salakia.
The sarcophagus of an ancient civilization. I forget what page I'm on. Henceforth, the Idumeans were reckoned as Jews, and their land was counted as one of the 11 tetrarchs of Judea. But the union between them and the Jews proved of little blessing. Rather, they became an element of weakness to the Jews. Why wouldn't it? You understand? You join with your enemy, you're going to be weakened. And in the moment of need, they treacherously betrayed them to Rome. So the people who became Jews, Jewish people, Idumeans, they turned on them and gave them up to the Romans. By nature, they were cruel and barbarous, fierce and turbulent. At the time, the Romans under Titus besieged Jerusalem, 70 AD. The Idumeans, along with the Zealot party, early joined in the rebellion against the foe. So it's saying that white people who were calling themselves Idumeans that had turned into devout Jews, right, joined with an Israelite party called the Zealots. Look up the Zealots. This is what this is recorded in this book, The Sarcophagus of an Ancient Civilization, in the dictionary. Zealot. Look for it in the scriptures. Read that one scripture where the word, a couple places where the word zealot is read in the Bible. Kwan.
Is there any specific scripture, sir?
No, find it. Just find it. It's only a couple of them.
Zealot, in parentheses, a zealous one. A member of a Jewish patriotic party started.
So it was a Jewish patriotic party, you understand, meaning that there was factions in Israel during this time of turmoil, right? After the Maccabean brothers, they were basically overthrown, you understand? Then you had, that's the 72, the Sanhedrin. You had the Sanhedrin that I believe the Greeks or the Romans had installed. It was 72 leaders that was under the high priest that ruled in Israel. You understand? After the Greek and Roman persecution, there was the Sanhedrin, and they had who? The Zealot party. Read on.
A member of a Jewish patriotic party started in the time of Cyrenius to resist Roman aggression.
Right? So they made friends with the Romans, and then the goddamn Romans turned on them. And this Zealot party was famous for fighting the Roman aggression. Rome coming in, bossing them around, pushing them around, you understand, and took over and treating them like garbage, you understand, taking a tribute, okay, like they always do. Take your money, keep going.
According to Josephus, and it says in parentheses.
This is, where is it at?
It says BJ, I'm not sure what it is.
Okay.
4, then 3 eyes, and a 9.
Hold on. I think this is the part I was looking for. Hold on. Say it again.
Roman numeral 4, 1B.
Roman numeral 4,
Comma.
book 4.
Okay. Comma. 3 eyes.
Let me see. 522. Wrong section.
There's a couple of them.
You said book 4.
Comma. 3 lowercase i's.
Maybe chapter 3.
And then what?
A comma and a nod. That's the first one.
And now the people could no longer bear the insolence of this procedure, but did altogether run zealously in order to overthrow that tyranny. And indeed, they were Gorion, the son of Josephus, and Simeon, the son of Gamaliel, who encouraged them by going up and down when they were assembled together in crowds. And as they saw them alone, to bear no longer, but to inflict punishment upon these pests and plagues of their freedom, and to purge the temples of these bloody polluters of it. The best esteemed also of the high priest, Jesus the son of Gamaliel, and Annas the son of Annas, when they were at their assemblies, bitterly reproached the people for their sloth, and excited them against the zealots. For that was the name they went by, as if they were zealous in good undertakings, and were not rather zealous in the worst actions, and extravagant in them beyond the example of others. So this was some group of goddamn people that was in Israel that was, not submitting to getting killed by the Romans, you understand? So they was eye for an eye and trying to beat the goddamn white man or what have you. So they started this goddamn upheaval, you understand? It's where you get a famous name of a group, you understand, that don't know what the hell they doing out on the street. I'm going to show you the spirit of an Israelite group that ain't under the Isupkbmore, you understand?
Come.
It's called Sakari. You understand? The Sakari were of one of these groups like the Zealots that would go around and they would fucking stab you to death. They would, you a Roman or you was supporting the Romans or what have you, they would stab you to death. You understand? That's what they would do. So there you go. That's why they seem to have no order. They seem to have no discipline. I wonder why. Because they are likely to do anything. You understand? Any more on that?
Yeah. It was basically saying what you just said. It said, the zealots in their hatred, the zealots resorted to violence and assassination in their hatred of the Romans.
You understand?
Simon, last sentence, sir. Simon the Zealot was distinguished from Simon Peter.
No, that's different. That was the end of it, right? They talking about another cat. But that was the basics of who these zealots were. It says Titus besieged Jerusalem. The Idumeans, along with the zealot party, early joined in the rebellion against the foe. So these people who were claiming themselves to be Jewish, you understand, joined with the zealous party, you understand, and started killing up the Romans and anybody that was, down with the Romans, you understand? So you had white people that was fighting with black people against the Romans. This is what it's saying, basically, you understand? You didn't join them with they didn't join them with your movement, but you're going to find out what they did. I think we heard it earlier, how we were betrayed, you understand?
Okay.
Let's read more. This is the sarcophagus of an ancient civilization. It says, hold on. I lost off my spot. Hold on. Hold on. Through the influence of John of Geshala, as Josephus informs us, 20,000 Idumeans were allowed access to the holy city, only to fill the city with robbery and bloodshed. God damn. They spared nobody. The outer temple was completely covered with blood. 8,500 perished there in one day. But the rage of the Idumeans was not confined to the temple precincts. They betook themselves to the city and plundered every house and slew everyone they met. Most ruthlessly, they massacred the priests, even standing with their coarse feet upon their bodies to defile them, casting them forth without respectable burial. Even Ananias, the high priest, fell a victim to their savage rage. He was a just and venerable man, Josephus tells us, noble, dignified, a lover of liberty and democracy. I don't know. Yeah, I bet. Preferring peace above all things. After his death and the massacre of the other priests, the bloodthirsty Idumeans fell upon the people in general as upon a flock of profane animals and cut their throats wherever they caught them. Those who escaped immediate death were scourged and tortured until they died. Those whom they caught in the daytime were slain in the night, and their bodies were carried out and thrown away, that there might be room for other prisoners. And the terror that was upon the people was so great that no one had courage enough even to weep openly for the dead man that was related to him or to bury him. Those who were shut up in their own houses could only shed tears in secret, lest any of their enemies should hear them. For if they did, those that mourned for others soon underwent the same death as those from whom they mourned. With the tragic fall of Jerusalem, the Idumeans as a nation passed off the stage of history and disappeared entirely from human sight. Except for if you're a priest in the Israelite School of Universal Practice, you know who the hell they are. But the white man, he knows himself. He's going to tell us. With the tragic fall of Jerusalem, the Idumeans as a nation passed off the stage of history and disappeared entirely from human sight. Yet, later rabbinical writers continued to use the name Edom, the most abhorred of all their enemies, as the designation for Rome. And the name Idumea as the geographical term continued to be applied to the southern part of Palestine and in the Negev as late as the time of Jerome. Surely Isaac drew an accurate picture of Edomite character when in his blessing upon Esau, he predicted, by the sword shall thou live. Genesis 27:40. War and rapine were their chief possession. By the sword they got Mount Seir. By the sword they exterminated the Horites. By the sword they long battled with their brethren, the children of Israel. And it goes on, but I didn't copy any more in the Library of Congress. And it was amazing. So, I'm going to cut it short right there, right? I'm going to turn the class over to Priest and Officer Kawan Palak to give us the announcements and prayers.
Here are the announcements. We are the Isupkbmore out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves with the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to that brother or sister. In another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 months period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8 and 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'asharah. 10% of every penny of any increase of the Lord give to the Treasury Department or teacher, priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give, upcoming holy congregation, remind Akim and Akwathium.
Let me go over that. Memorial blowing the trumpets is coming September the 28th. You understand? We'll be hosting live and direct from California. You understand? We'll be hosting live and direct from California. You understand? Commander General Yohana and the generals. You understand? Probably be broadcasting straight out of Los Angeles. You understand? San Bernardino
Right.
in our
That's right.
brand new school. You
Right.
understand? That's the Cali cookout weekend. You understand? You want to be there. You understand? Get that plane plane ticket and fly out to California, and let's do it. You understand? And then shortly thereafter, I believe the week of the 11th or 10 days later, after the 28th, we will be in Texas. We will be, 10 days later is November the 7th. It'll be a Monday. It'll be a Monday night up here, the Day of Atonement. That's what it'll be. The Day of Atonement, Monday night, October the 7th, right? And then 5 days later, we will have the Feast of Tabernacles, you understand, Saturday evening in Houston, Texas. You understand? At the Texas, you understand, Isupkbmore Texas Cookout.
If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headband, or scarf. Courtesy salute. Courtesy salute to the teacher. Imagine Shabbat. Imagine Brak.
How about Shim Yabba
That's your top. Class dismissed.
All right, catch Commander General Yohana on the grill. You understand? 9 sharp. You understand? Let's get it in, baby. Make sure you hit the like button and the share button. Okay?
Yeah.
Get it in, Israel.
Yeah. Damn
World
right.
War 3 is upon us.
That's right.
I ain't go into it, but I can go into it.
Can I